Right, welcome to our tutorial in countering Fang Gaming, starring Amarok and SirLimbo. This is a game from SirLimbo against Fulviok, and, obviously Fang Gaming is a little bit of a meta right now. We're back in the meta right now. We've talked about how to run it. Let's talk about how to defend against it.
So
SirLimbo took a Saber Specialist with Mustangs and Crawlers.
what I would like to add is I would basically never take this start if I weren't up against Volviok or whatever you are supposed to call his name. I'm sorry if I'm butchering this. I have seen him play against a bunch of other streamers, and I have seen him play in the past as well. And in my mind, he is a player who isn't necessarily bad, but he really is a sort of one trick pony. He has a build that he likes or he thinks has the best chance of winning, and then he just forces that down your throat every single game. In the last patch, he was one of those notorious Exodia builders who were doing
Hmm.
nothing but Vulcans every single game, and it is an absolute pain to play against. And recently, I have only ever seen him go into Fang-Fort, which means I'm taking the pack that is going to counter him from round number one. Because I really think if you are just a very severe one trick pony or one build enjoyer, this is going to happen to you at higher levels. You need
It
some kind of
definitely does.
variety.
Um, when Mike Tyson, for example, was extremely well known for the asymmetrical sledge aggro, he said that running a Smurf with the exact same build and decision making played out at about 300 MMR higher than playing the exact same under his Mike Tyson name, which was well known for playing that. So, if people know what you're going to do, they're going to set themselves up to counter it, and this is an example of that.
Exactly. It shall serve as an example on how to counter a Fang build, though it probably will not be that case every time that you know your opponent is going for it at the start of the game. Usually, I
Right.
think you can kind of see glimpses of it by round two or three. If in round, like it's the same with carry arc lights. When you saw that in round two, the opponent added two more arc lights and put them spread out across the board, you kind of know that a whiff of carry arc might be coming in very soon. And the same thing
Right.
with Fangs. If the opponent adds nothing but Fangs and probably Fang range by round two, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, the canonical version of Fang Carry is actually to sell one of the 200 cost units on round one, sell the second 200 cost unit on round two, and have, you know, Fangs with tech with a whole bunch of Fangs on the board by the end of round two. So let's pretend, for example, that we're Sir Limbo and we didn't recognize Fang Carry from knowing what Fulviok is already, having watched Fulviok and knowing what they're likely to do. This is the round where you're going to detect this 7 Fang build, 8 Fangs now, with Fangs in all the key places. This is a Fang carry build. At that point, your rounds 3 onward should be built to countering Fang, even if you didn't have the right units to do it on the board right now. So, Sir Limbo does have the right unit on the board in the Mustangs, so he's got a 1 round advantage over the player who might be recognizing it on round 2, right? As the Fang carry player, you might be trying to disguise what you're doing so that you get at that an extra 1 round advantage on opponent. So,
I
but if
also
you ever
have
see
laser
somebody,
sight on Mustangs, on level 2 Mustangs, which is just disgusting into Fangs.
yeah,
Let's be
he
honest.
should not try to force Fang carry once he sees that. But of course, we're going to force Fang carry because otherwise, this wouldn't be a video on how to counter Fang carry.
Exactly. I really do think that you cannot at all, in a game that is balanced, force the same build in every single game and expect to win. Because there should be counterplay to literally every single thing that you can possibly do. He
Right.
actually does get a fortress dropped here, I think. I think he takes it.
Yeah, that's huge for him to get the fort unlock for 100 instead of 200 and get a fort out of it. So he has saved 500 off of his intended build. He spends 300 to range enhance, which is the first step for a Fang player. SirLimbo also took the fort, so we're going to be in a Fort Mustang counter, it looks like.
Yes. Though in truth, this fort only really exists in order to counter his fortress. But that's
Right.
kind of that is legitimately the definition of going for either Fang Fortress or or for Mustang Fortress. Mustang Fortress, I think, is also pretty decent. But I do
Mm-hmm.
kind of want to, in the long run, try to deal with my opponent's units, maybe with saber tooths or something else. I don't have the money to range my own Mustangs here, but I do get more Mustangs and more crawlers because right now crawlers are literally clogging up the guns on his fangs, and that can only ever be good for my Mustangs.
Right. Long term, you want the Fangs wasting their time on the units that we don't care about, or on units that they can't kill, because you don't want them getting experience from the kills. So there are two really strong counters to Fangs. The one of them is a multi-teched replicate crawler build. If you can get the replicate crawlers running out in front of, uh, outpacing the Fangs, then they're the answer. And they are, in particular, the answer to a Fang carry gaming player who is foolish enough to put the Fangs on the line anywhere, here or along your flanks. Then you drop your replicate crawlers right in front of him and replicate immediately off of the crawlers that he has on the line. We're going to take the underground threat. Oh, SirLimbo, nicely done. Thank you. I mean, I don't know how you listened to me in a replay, but here we go. So he's got the fangs on the line. We're going to replicate off of them. He's adding more fangs on the line that we're going to replicate off once we see them. And we're positioned to be able to replicate off of flanks as well.
We're just
And, oh,
basically
by the
just
way,
replicating literally all across the board here.
yeah, and oh, by the way, he's trying to defend his own piece with a underground threat of his own. He doesn't have any tower upgrades, so we would be able to win that if we just had defense enhancement, or if we had attack on the crawlers. If we have replicate on it, it gets pretty darn disgusting. So watch how
Not
many
in the
crawlers are
money
going
I
to come
needed
out of that back
Mustang
corner.
range this time around. Because the Fangs have range and you don't want your XP Pinata Mustangs getting killed by the Fangs. That is another very
Right,
important step. You want the unit that is killing the Fangs and hopefully leveling a whole lot not to fall prey to the Fangs. So I think the
right,
moment that the opponent's Fangs get range, you would definitely 100% have to take range yourself on the Mustangs,
right.
unless you have so many crawlers that, like on the right side, this would not have been an issue.
Otherwise, the Fangs were going to be dying. If the Fangs feed, or the Mustangs would have been dying. If the Mustangs feed their XP to the Fangs, it's a really bad sign for us because experience, if you don't know, experience is awarded at uh, the original purchase price of the unit times unit level minus one times, or unit level times two minus one. So a level one unit that cost 100 awards 100 experience. A level 2 unit that cost 100 times 2 times 2 minus 1, so 100 times 3, 300 cost, or 300 experience points. A level 3 unit, 500, a level 4 unit, 700. So as you're getting these carry units, we've got ours up to level 4 now, thanks to the intensive training. Our key unit here is the laser sight, right? Right.
Yeah.
So it's up to level 4. We've got a level 1, a level 2, these units would be feeding out tremendous XP if we were letting them get chewed up. So, 700 times the value of this other level 1 Mustang, three times the value of this level 1 Mustang here. So, it's
This
also what the
is why
shields
we
are
keep
for.
them safe. We need to keep them safe.
Hmm.
Otherwise, if the Fangs start to out-level our Mustangs, we are just in deep, deep doo-doo.
Right. And the other piece is we are putting hit point damage on the board with our sabers. You notice he hasn't sold them. With our forts, with the call in. We're trying to finish this game as quick as possible. And the reason for that is Fang Gaming is all about scaling. He's trying, Fang Gaming is not scary when the Fangs are level 1 and 2. When the Fangs are level 1 and 2, the other player should be winning. When the Fangs are level 4, 5, 6. The opposition player has a problem, and it's kind of too late to counter.
Yes. I think I did a bit of a mistake. I think I should have gone into Fortress range, Fortress Shield. Instead of dropping 3
Hmm.
shields, it's basically the same cost, but it will stay with me for the rest of the round. You can start
For the
seeing
rest
a
of the
bit,
game.
you can see it getting a bit scary and iffy on the right side now with that extra Fortress here,
Hmm.
because a lot of Fangs now got a lot of experience, but it still should be fine. That Fortress
Right. We
survived a bit too
didn't.
long, I guess.
Yeah, we didn't finish them off in the way that we needed to. Right.
Yes.
So this is kind of the last chance that we're going to have. Round 6, I would say.
I
It's about
wouldn't
the
say it's
last
the
chance.
last chance that we have, but I think I could have gotten it faster in that sense.